Mardi Gras is finally here. Now, I've never been to one. I don't drink. I don't like loud noises, and I also don't like things being thrown at me, so I may not be the best person to go to a Mardi Gras, to the Fat Tuesday Carnival. And naturally, I don't know much about this fun tradition which takes place around the world, and most importantly at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida. I guess it's at the other Universal, right? The Hollywood one. We don't care about that one. Now, as some of you know, I am becoming a bigger and bigger Universal fan. I went there 4 times last year, which is kind of crazy because I don't typically go to a lot of the theme parks down in Orlando because I live in Baltimore. That's over 900 miles away. But somehow I was able to get in 2 times actually for the Orlando meetup, which I got a little special discount code down in the description if you want to get some tickets to it coming up soon. And I went to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time as well, but I've never been to the parks for their Mardi Gras celebration. I didn't even know they had a Mardi Gras celebration there. It's even celebrating its 30th year in 2025, so I'm pretty stupid. Didn't know about it, but from what I heard, it's a whole heck of a lot of fun. It's got a lot of food and some other little party things and some floats and things, and people throw the beads at you. It's a fun time. Either way, I would like to go and experience it at least once. So to find out more about the parks during this time of year, I watched a Tim Tracker video. Now I'm a little scared to bring up Tim Tracker because I did back in the day make a little subtle joke about him in a Disney Dan video, which was met with a lot of anger. Comment section was filled with wanting our blood. For making fun of dear sweet Tim Tracker, which really wasn't even that big of a joke. It was in a video where Dan and I talked about the Kite Tails, and for one of the Kite Tails events, they invited press. And I was like, first off, that's ridiculous that they invited press to watch Kite Tails. Made like, oh, little joke, oh, press, haha. People weren't having it. It was so bad that Dan and I had to go into the YouTube studio and cut that section of the video out because it was very distracting. So I really hope I don't get attacked for mentioning Tim Tracker in this video now, but I'm gonna do it. So, gulp. All right, what do we got here? Tim. Tim starts off with the video by going into the Universal Studios store at the City Walk. I can't remember the last time I watched a Tim Tracker video, but he really shows off the merchandise. Like so much so it's like a Sears catalog. I am impressed and terrified at the same time.
I think this is an adult crop top shirt that says Mardi Gras 2025, $37. They've got some masks over here. You can't wear masks in the park.
It's too much, Tim. Tim. If you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of merchandise at theme parks. It's cool that he's showing everything off so you get a nice little feel of it if you want to buy this stuff, you know, because you look at it on the website and like, I don't know what this thing looks like. I mean, really the only merchandise I would ever be interested in buying is that giant ET statue. And by buying, I mean stealing. How much is that statue? Do you think I could buy it? If that statue ever gets stolen.
I'm not the one who stole it.
Okay, now he's outside. He's going to one of the kiosks now. All right, someone get this man away from the merchandise. Tim! All right, finally. 6.5 minutes into the video here, and he goes to the new tribute store, which a lot of people are very excited about. They said that this little Bayou tribute store this year for 2025 is pretty cool. One of the old-time favorites. I experienced a tribute store for the first time last year, and it was the VHS cool tape zone, rental zone, like retro area. I loved it. It's interesting. There's just so much stuff in this store. It's like overwhelming at times. It's kind of neat having him show off all the little Easter eggs in it. I'm having a hard time taking all this information in because it's so much stuff. Luckily, I mean, everybody made videos about this tribute store. And they showed off every little trinket, shirt thing on the wall, any morsel of dust on the ground. We have video representation of it. Really the best video for this tribute store was the official one that Universal made for their marketing team. It even kind of like told a little bit of the story with some ghost man. He's sitting outside strumming the guitar out front of the store. And then you know what? We get some nice wide shots of each of the room. We get a little close up of a certain thing. Back to the guy telling the story with his guitar. I don't know who he is. It's probably somebody important that I don't know, and I'm gonna sound stupid for not knowing. I apologize in advance. We all know how much of a cotton-headed ninny-muggins I am.
No, buddy, you're not a cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
I just really want to go to this tribute store and walk around and touch the things. And like, ooh, you know I'm a toucher. I like to get my hands all over the things. It's not it's not supposed to be dirty. Get your mind out of the gutter, perverts. But I'm digging this store. I think it's a really cool little thing that they do there. It seems like a lot of people have a lot of fun putting them together, as well as a lot of people have fun filming said things and documenting them. Well, I would love to see old tribute stores from the past. So if anybody's got some old retro videos of old tribute stores from the past, just let me know. I want to see what they look like. Now finally on to the Mardi Gras food. So it looks like they do a kind of Epcot festival-like thing at Universal. They have various food booths for food from around the world. Tim does a really good job here in the tribute store video showing off the signage for the food. I don't see the actual food yet, it's just signs of the food. So I'm getting hungry now, okay? Now I wanna see the food and I wanna experience the food. Tim, personally, I don't think a lot of the food at Universal is very good. Ryan is a big fan of the Minions Cafe and their Minions Tots, which is essentially just like Smiles, but it's in Minions form. He said he swears by them. It's for kids. I'm more of a sophisticated fool, okay? I have a refined palate. Ryan's favorite food is IHOP. But I found this smaller channel called Fudge Factor. Got a couple here, they go through and they eat the food. They're big Universal fans and they let me know how the food tastes. So I'm going to review and rate their food reviews and rates of the food at Universal Studios. This Ben guy here, my guy is freaking ripped. He is jacked. I'm a little self-conscious here. I feel like a small little nerd boy right now. He reminds me of this funny guy I know at my gym. He's a computer programmer and that guy is shredded beyond belief. I mean, he goes to the gym like every day. He's just freaking ripped. He also carries his backpack around everywhere. And I'm like, dude, we got like lockers, so you can just keep your stuff. You don't have to carry it around while you're working out. It's kind of, he's a computer programmer, ripped as all hell. And Ben reminds me of that guy. So Ben, if you're out there watching, I would like to know if you have a job outside of YouTube stuff and is your job related to computers? I get a computer vibe from him, like in a cool way, like in a, you know, one of those ways. I'm gonna give Fudge Factor a nice, solid 7. I spent $300 on food at Universal Mardi Gras 2025, honest reviews, all booths, and full event breakdown. My God. Got something in my eye. Magical hijinks.
That is the best king cake they've done. In all the years I've been doing Mardi Gras, that's the best one. It is. The sponge is so good. It's not dry. It's the M word. That's the opposite of dry that everyone hates. I won't say.
Moist. Moist, moist, moist. Moist. I'll say it. I'll be a weirdo. You know what? Magical Hijinks, she does one heck of a job going through and getting all the food. She spent a lot of money on this food, clearly. $300. So she took her time. She gets the drinks, she gets the food, she gives me good ratings. I like it. I'm gonna give her a nice solid 7. Mammoth Club is here too.
There's dozens of food booths and new food items. Like we mentioned, there is a parade.
She sounds like a news anchor. Does anyone kind of get that news anchor kind of vibe? Very professional sounding voice.
So when you see the parade floats, you are seeing authentic New Orleans parade floats brought to you by Curtin Studios.
You know, she's going through, she's getting the food, she's getting the drinks, she's eating the food, she's rating the drinks and the stuff. She's telling me about the stuff. Here's a funny story about my beignet experience. I've never had theme park beignets, including Disney World. Never had their beignets, their new ones and their old ones at French Quarter. Never had them. First time I had beignets, bit of a long story. I was down in New Orleans, as they say. It was WrestleMania, it was the second time they were at not WrestleMania 30. I don't remember which WrestleMania it was. It was another WrestleMania. New Orleans, WrestleMania. I was down there filming some stuff for a independent wrestling promotion called Evolve. Kind of like a little bit of, they had this unusual working relationship with WWE. They would bring in talent to work some of their shows, and WWE would send their talent to work in Evolve. It's a long story, it's complicated. That's not the important part. I had to follow 2 wrestlers to the WWE Access, which is like a big fan expo that they would run in right before the actual WrestleMania events on like a Thursday, and I think it started on like a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Friday and a Saturday, something like that. And mind you, there was 100,000 wrestling fans, all swarm to whatever city WrestleMania is being held at. So it's just wrestling fans all over the place. So anyway, I'm backstage at this Access event. I wasn't supposed to go, but the company I was working for, like, just go with these wrestlers, see if you can kind of sneak in. Don't worry, I snuck in. I hung out backstage at this event, and there are so many people around, like every wrestler in the world, like hanging out with all these wrestlers. They're kind of watching these live shows that are happening. And I mean, there's everybody from Bryan Danielson to The Big Show to Randy Orton to AJ Styles, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at one point. Everybody was like kind of coming and going. And very nice, talking to all these people and, you know, getting a little starstruck meeting some of these people. Anywho, so we're there for like 14 hours. I'm filming this stuff, and finally we're getting ready to go back to our hotel, and we cannot get back to our hotel because there's massive surge pricing for Uber at the time. It was at like 5 or 6 o'clock at this point in the PM. It's like $100 to go like 14 miles. And we're like, oh my God. So we're like kind of asking around, and we found some friends who had a car, and they were able to come pick us up. And my friend had in his backseat of his car a bag of beignets on the floor of the car. And he's like, hey, do you want some beignets? Because I was like, I haven't had any yet. And I've been in New Orleans for a couple days now. I haven't had the beignets. I've been stuck at all these wrestling events. I want something. He's like, you can have some in a bag under my seat. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm getting them beignets. This was like the real deal, like the special Bourbon Street beignets, I think. I don't know, the official ones, right? 40% of this paper bag was just powdered sugar. It was a brick of just powdered sugar and like 2 beignets on top. That's a lot of sugar. I ate the beignets. They were absolutely delicious. They were a little cold, but I'll give them a solid 7. So anybody going to Universal, if you get these beignets, please leave a rating in the comment below. Let me know what you would give them on a backseat car floor beignet scale, okay? 7 was what I got. You let me know how these beignets compare to the ones I found in the backseat of my friend's car. That was a very long story. I do apologize. All right, Tim's back. Tim Tracker is finally going to eat the food this time. And I swear to God, if this guy goes into a merchandise store, I'm gonna lose my
I don't know if you guys are like me, but when I take a bite of Monterey Jack cheese, there is like almost like a soury sweetness to it. All right, I'm gonna try the pinchos now. This is a healthy serving.
I'm excited to try it because at first, like I said, I wasn't sure about
without any dipping sauce first. So this is the king cake, which is a traditional cake. When you first bite into it, it's like a pancake. So I'm just gonna try it, the sausage and the curry. That's good.
Crispy sweet plantain and beef.
It almost tasted like shrimp, which there's no shrimp in this, but it tasted like shrimp to me.
I'll give his review a solid 7. All right, that concludes our Mardi Gras celebration at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida. There's parade stuff, you know, and then they throw beads at you. You can ride floats and throw beads at people. Cool. You know, plus they have some concerts, right? Some free concerts. I would love to see Kool and the Gang. That'd be a lot of fun. Or TLC, maybe even Foster the People. Not DJ Pauly D. He seems a bit gross. Anywho, looks like Maryland is about to get slammed with an ice and snowstorm, so that's something fun to look forward to. And I hope everyone out there has enjoyed Mardi Gras. If you do find some cool food that you would like me to eat, can you mail it to me? Actually, I don't think that would probably be pretty gross. Don't do that. That's a pretty dumb idea. I'm just gonna cut this out from the video. if I remember to, which I probably won't.